Hey everyone, back again with another project. This one is a little personal. Several years ago I got diagnosed with sleep apnea, and if you're like me, some of you have that same problem. There's a lot of solutions to it, one of which is to get a CPAP machine. That comes with hoses and a mask, and you use it at night so that it prevents snoring and allows you to get longer, healthier, better sleep. The hoses that come with them have to be cleaned at least once a week in a solution, in water. So I clean mine in my sink, and I disinfect the sink first, and then I clean the hoses and the mask and the pillow device that goes in your nose. And that way I'm assured that all the germs and bacteria are killed, and I don't get any infections when I'm using the machine. Well, the problem is this. When you clean the hoses in water, they tend to not be dry even if they're hanging out all day. Now, unless you're living in Arizona, you're going to find that they don't really dry all the way. There's still water droplets in the hose and in the mask when you're trying to get to sleep. I checked to see if there were any products on the market, but didn't run across anything I liked. So I wanted to see if I could build a dryer fan that would suit my needs. I wanted something that would plug into the AC outlet and had some other features. I came across these centrifugal fans, the same kind of fans that you use in a computer, except the ones that I found were AC adaptable so that you could plug them into the wall. And then I had to figure out how I'm going to get the square hole of the fan to match the end of the hose. Well, I needed an adapter, obviously. So I went and I got an electrical conduit box. And the conduit box has two openings, both 1/2-inch diameter holes. I plugged one of the openings with a cork so that the air would only come out in one direction. The conduit comes with a cap, so I pulled the cap off and realized that the opening was bigger than the opening on the centrifugal fan. So I had to close a section of it. I took the cap and I sawed off a section of it so that the exposed area of the cap beyond the area of the opening on the fan was closed. Next, I cut a piece of 1/2-inch PVC to fit into the open end of the junction box for the hose attachment. Now I had to connect the conduit connector box to the fan. You can use any kind of epoxy glue or plastic-to-plastic cement that will allow you to get a secure, solid bond between the conduit box and the fan. Once I did that, I let it dry overnight. The next day, I came back and wanted to test my system. So I plugged the fan in, and it immediately started blowing. There's no switch on these fans. So I figured, well, that's great. It's going to dry out my hose, but I got to remember to turn it off or it'll be going all day. So I said, okay, I need a timer. I went online and I found a countdown timer that went for 10, 20, 30, and 60-minute intervals. And that countdown timer was a saving grace, because now what I do is I let the air dry the hoses for a while they're hanging up, and then sometime in the evening I will flip on the countdown timer, which turns the fan on for an hour. That seems to be plenty to dry the hoses, and I don't have to worry about turning it off. So now when I get to bed, I am, connecting my hoses back to the CPAP machine, and they work perfectly, and they're clean, and they're completely dry. I hope you enjoyed this. All the components I used to build my version of the box are below, and good luck.